So the last section that we're going to cover is going to be our flex data fields. And I'm just going to leave this window open because it's going to be the same thing. And a benefit of Foxtrot when you're Foxtrotting your accounts is that you can make multiple changes while you're in the account. So say if you want to do the responsibility code and add a flex data field, that is very possible when building your script. Flex data. Let's go back through. Let me just refresh the screen first. And I'm going to create a new task for this one actually. Alright, I'm going to show you a little bit of a hint. You can copy actions from one task to another. So let me just, I'm going to do right click, copy. And I want to paste it over here. Warning, stack reset. We're actually going to take this away on our next version, but what this means, it means I created a new task and the old task doesn't know how I got over here. Just click yes if you get that. And then you can continue on. Use the copy and paste again. Very convenient. Alright, now we got our window refreshed. So now, the flex data field. Flex data, also called your additional information, are fields that are more customizable to your Navigator setup. So, in some cases, the field that you're wanting to change or add is already in here if somebody got to your account before you did. So what we want you to do is to build your script to go ahead and look for that field in your additional information box first. To do that, we're just going to target somewhere in this box, in this column, I suggest. And you can target the field or one of the existing fields in here. So I'm going to drop it off. Alright, so here's another use of our table technology, because we're going to search this entire column to look for a particular field. So we want to work with the table. We don't want to work with that specific location. We want to work with the entire table. So we do work with table and search. So search action's good. You can search for dynamic data. If you want to go into your expression builder and you want to search for a particular field in your spreadsheet or a variable, any of that good stuff, or a static field. So we're going to search for NAICS code. I'll leave it here, and I just type in what I want to search for. And then you can go through your search options as far as what you want to search. All columns, specific columns. So column 1 should be just this location. Let me see. Okay, looks like it's column 2. And your match criteria, if you wanted to locate something in case sensitive, anywhere in an item, ignore the beginning and ending spaces. Now the search action, it can be used a different way as well. That's why we have a store result in. And you can store the result of that search. Say it was not found at all, you could put it over in a variable and it would say false. Or if it was found, you could say true. It's very helpful when you're trying to do some error checking. And again, targeted. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and hit OK. Alright, so the search the table, and you can see it actually highlighted where the drop-down box is. So what that means, it found it, but it's in this list, so it's not, it can't hide from Foxtrot. It's down in here. We know if that highlights down on this bottom row, that it means it's in the drop-down box. So what we can do is actually build that logic into our script to say, okay, if this highlight right here, so if the highlight, again, is in the last row, oh, let me change that actually. I want to change that to if it's not in the last row. Switch my logic around. Because meaning if it's not in the last row, it means it's up here in our existing list. So we want to build actions, say, to change the data. And we'll come back to that one. So now if it comes out of the if statement, it means it's in the last row, which should be the more common location. So if it's in the last row, at that point we want to select the item out of the box. Work with table, interact with the highlighted cell, use a select item action. So we use the select item when it's the same data that we want to select each time. We want to select our code here, click OK. So now that it has it selected in our drop-down, at that point, we'll want to go ahead and click the Add Field hyperlink. So we can work with the table again. And the reason why I'm doing work with table each time is because what I've observed over the years is that there can be 3 fields, there can be 15 fields. So this location could change depending on how many fields that you have. So with these type of variables, you know, we want to use our table technology. Alright, so we want to, again, interact with this highlighted cell. Click the link, and I'm going to use bypass again. So now we have the NAI CS code in our field list. So at this point, the easy way to build the script is to copy this same search action, because what I want to do, I want to search for it again in this field, because we don't know if it's going to be the 3rd one down, we don't know if it's going to be the 15th one down. So I want Foxtrot to search. I'm going to paste it in at the bottom, double click on it to execute it. So now it finds it in the list. And we can tell Foxtrot, okay, now go work with the highlighted cell. And we're going to want to move that highlight to the right, to the edit box. So we select our column, we move it right. Looks like to be just one column from the appearance. At that point, I'll click OK. Now the highlight's in the text box, so I can continue on. I target the box and edit it just like any text field. Getting a little WebEx delay. I apologize for the pausing. We're going to work with the table, interact, and send our new data out. Work with the table, send data. At that point, we'd be ready to click our update button and save it. Update. Okay. So that's the rest of the script that we would do if the NAICS code was in the dropdown. So if you recall, we built an if statement to look for it if it's already in the list of fields. So in that if statement, we know, okay, it searched it, it's found it outside of our dropdown. So what should we do is create a label and go to label again. So our label would want to be once we move the highlight over, because we're just going to edit the field. So I would create a label in my script. Again, just name it whatever you would like. And then our go to label action. And as you can see, I only have one because I'm in a new task. Now it'll jump down to that section and perform those actions that edit the box. Alright? So I hope all of that made perfect sense to everyone. I know since I've been kind of working with it, it all seems to make sense to me. But of course we want to extend the opportunity to call us if you run into these questions. That's what we're here for. And use our support guys. They love talking to you, all of you. And that's going to conclude our training for today.